The morning she tried to shut down my farm store didn't start with shouting or threats. It started with a quiet kind of confidence that only someone completely sure they're right can have. And by the time it ended, that same confidence had completely fallen apart in front of everyone watching. All because the one person she didn't expect showed up at exactly the wrong moment for her. And the perfect moment for me. If you've ever dealt with someone who thinks rules only apply when it benefits them, then you already know where this is going, and trust me, this one gets satisfying. Before we go any further, take a second to hit like and subscribe to Karen's Stories Daily, because stories like this only get better as they build, and you don't want to miss how this plays out. I've lived on this land most of my life. It's not just property to me, it's history. My grandfather bought it when this whole area was nothing but open farmland, long before anyone thought about building gated communities or putting up signs about lawn height and mailbox colors. Over the years, I kept it going, not in a big commercial way, just enough to keep things honest and real. Chickens, a small crop rotation, and eventually a simple farm stand right near the road. That farm store wasn't some big business. It was a wooden stand I built myself, sturdy but simple. Fresh eggs in the morning, vegetables when they were in season, sometimes homemade items when I had extra time. No loud signs, no traffic problems, no disruptions. People would stop by, pick up what they needed, leave cash, maybe stay for a short conversation. It worked because it was honest. For a long time, everything stayed peaceful. The people who lived nearby appreciated it. Some of them would come regularly, bringing their kids to show them where eggs actually come from. Others just liked having something local and real in a place that was slowly becoming more artificial by the year. Then Willow Creek was built, big houses, identical designs, perfect lawns, and rules for everything you could imagine. And right at the center of it all was Karen, the HOA president. You didn't need anyone to introduce her. You could tell just by the way she carried herself. Like every space she stepped into automatically belonged to her. The first time she came to my stand, it wasn't friendly. She didn't greet me, didn't ask how things worked, didn't try to understand anything. She walked up, looked around with that judging expression, and said, "You can't run a business here." Just like that. No conversation, just a statement. I remember looking at her for a moment, not because I didn't understand what she said, but because I was deciding how much energy she deserved. I told her calmly that this was private agricultural land, and what I was doing was completely within my rights. She didn't like that answer. She started talking about regulations, zoning, compliance, using words like she had authority over me, the kind of confidence that doesn't come from knowledge, but from never being challenged. I told her again, politely but firmly, that her HOA had no control over my property. If she believed otherwise, she could contact the county. That was the moment things changed, because people like her don't accept being corrected. They take it personally. After that day, she started appearing more often, driving slowly past my property, watching from a distance, sometimes stopping just long enough to make sure I noticed her. It wasn't subtle. It was deliberate. Then came the complaint, official notice, filed with the county zoning office. Claims that I was running an unauthorized commercial operation, creating public disturbance, violating land use rules. I read through it carefully. It was detailed. Too detailed for someone who didn't know what they were doing. She had put time into it, dates, observations, assumptions about customer volume. She wasn't just annoyed. She was trying to build a case. But here's the thing. I already knew my position. My land was zoned agricultural. Small farm sales were allowed. Everything I was doing was within the rules. Still, once a complaint is filed, it has to be reviewed. And Karen knew that. The next few days, she stayed close, not directly interfering, but always around, watching, waiting, like she expected the moment she had been planning for. Then one morning, everything lined up. She showed up early. Too early for someone just passing by. She stood near the edge of my property, pretending to be busy, but her attention was fixed on the road. I continued my routine, collected eggs, arranged them neatly, greeted customers like always. I wasn't going to change anything because of her. Then a car pulled up. Not one of the usual ones. Clean, official, the kind of vehicle that makes people take notice without saying anything. Karen saw it immediately. Her entire posture changed. This was it, the moment she had been waiting for. The driver stepped out, calm, composed, not in a rush. He looked around briefly, then started walking toward the stand. Karen moved quickly, intercepting him before he even reached me. Her tone shifted instantly, polite but forceful, like she was presenting a problem that needed immediate action. She started explaining everything, pointing at my stand, describing it as a violation, talking about rules and regulations. He listened, didn't interrupt, didn't react, just listened. Then he looked at me. I gave a small nod. No need for words yet. He turned back to her and asked a simple question. Have you actually bought anything from here before? She hesitated, just for a second, then said no, like the question didn't matter. He nodded, then stepped past her, walked right up to the stand, picked up a carton of eggs, inspected them like any regular customer would, then looked at me and asked the price. I told him. He paid without hesitation. That was the moment everything started to shift. Karen was visibly confused. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. After he paid, he turned back to her, calm as ever, and introduced himself, chairman of the county zoning board. You could see it hit her immediately. That realization, that sudden drop in confidence when someone understands they've misjudged the situation completely. She tried to recover, started explaining again, faster now, pushing harder like volume could fix the problem. But now he wasn't just listening. Now he was correcting. He explained clearly that agricultural land is allowed to operate small farm sales, that what I was doing was not only legal but common, that no violation existed. Every word dismantled her argument piece by piece. She tried to bring up HOA rules. He reminded her those rules stop at her boundary line. She tried to insist there had to be some issue. He calmly told her there wasn't. Then he added something that changed the tone completely. He explained that filing unnecessary or false complaints wastes county resources, and continued behavior like that could create consequences for the person filing them. That was the moment her confidence fully collapsed. No more arguing. No more authority, just silence. He thanked me for the eggs, told me everything looked good, and left as calmly as he had arrived. Karen stood there for a few seconds, processing what just happened. Then she turned around and walked away without saying a single word. After that day, everything changed. No more drive-bys, no more complaints, no more attempts to interfere. The same person who had been so confident, so certain, simply disappeared from the situation, and the farm store stayed exactly as it was. Simple, honest, open. People kept coming. Conversations kept happening. Life moved on. But that moment stuck with me, not because of the conflict, but because of how quickly things can flip when reality steps in. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't about winning an argument. It was about knowing where you stand, staying calm under pressure, and letting the truth do the work. If you made it this far, I want to hear your thoughts. What would you have done if someone tried to shut down something you built like this? Would you stay calm or confront them directly? Drop your answer in the comments. And don't forget to share this with someone who loves stories like this. And if you want more real stories like this, stay tuned to Karen's Stories Daily. **.